Rob Star Gang, what up? What up? Appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Again, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe button on your way in and on your way out. Yeah, man, you see the screen, you see the title, what we learned from the Panthers 2025 draft grades. You know, it's kind of interesting when we talk about like after these drafts, we always do like these grades and all that shit. Like, does it really like sometimes I wonder, like, sometimes this grading doesn't really matter when it comes to these draft grades, right? Because the reason why I say that is because you could take it from me, for instance, because I'll never forget when Bleacher Report came out with their draft grades. And this is a perfect example of that 2012 draft for the it was for the Seattle Seahawks. And they drafted that year, they drafted Cam Chancellor and Bobby Wagner. And you know what Bleacher Report gave them? They gave them an F or like an F minus. So something crazy like that. Just because in the first round they drafted like Bruce Irvin. So you got to take draft grading with a grain of salt. All right, you got to take a draft grading with grain of salt. So back in the like, it's crazy because like when it comes to these draft grades, like I'm so surprised sometimes when like these analysts and media come out and they're just like, yeah, that's an F. Yeah, we drafted Cam Chancellor. Oh, and by the way, in that 2012 draft that the Seahawks had, they also drafted in that same draft. They drafted Russell Wilson in the third round. And then Bleacher Report gave him like an F. So draft grades is just, it's crazy. So that's why we're going to talk about what we learned from the Carolina Panthers 2025 draft grades. And then we're going to talk about Carolina signing Hunter Renfrow. They signed Hunter Renfrow, former Clemson wide receiver, drafted by the Oakland Raiders. So we're going to talk more about him. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Appreciate everybody wherever you're watching, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on X or Twitch or YouTube. Either way you're watching, make sure y'all guys just show your love and support just by liking and following. That's all that matters to me. I give two shits about gifts on TikTok. I could give two shits about any of that other stuff. Okay. If you feel like generous and feel like giving, that's great. All right. So I appreciate it either way. All right. I appreciate it either way. All right, let's dive right into this. So let me share my screen real quick. TikTok, I'm not going to be able to share my screen over there. You're just going to look at my pretty face and just listen to me blab. So if you're cool with that, great. If not, come on over to the YouTube channel. It's definitely more live and more in your face. I'll say that. So and the YouTube channel is in the link in my bio. So come check it out. All right. We're on the road to 10K over here on TikTok, but we're almost at 6K on YouTube. So I greatly appreciate it. All right. So these are the draft analysts that gave us analyst grades. We got PFF. PFF gave Carolina an A+. All right. Well, we got Danny Kelly, the Ringer, gave us an A. We got Chris Trapazio, CBS Sports, gave us a A-. Josh Norris, and Hayden Winks out of the Underdog Network gave us an A. Gilberto Manzano and Matt Verderame, Sports Illustrated, gave us an A-. We got Rob Matty, who gave us a B. We got Chad, who's with AP. We got, I think Rob Matty. I'm not sure who AP is. Chad Reuter out of NFL.com gave us a B+. Dan Wilkins, the score, gave us an A-. We got Pete Briscoe, CBS, a B-. Nate Davis of US Today gave us a C. And Mel Kiper gave us a C+. What a fucking clown that guy is. And then also Mark Mask, the Washington Post, give it a C minus. Actually, I like Mel Kiper. I just like I think he's funny. But we know he's terrible with his takes. So let's just say that. So, but what did we learn from this draft? All right. So we're going to look at it this way. First things first, the Panthers draft was not an absolute, it's not actually a disaster, which is so funny because every year we talk about it every single year, right? After the chaos of the NFL draft, analysts, fans, board media outlets scramble to slap grades on the carnage. Basically, like they're grading college freshmen half-ass philosophy papers. Okay, it's stupid. It's a stupid tradition. I do it so you can take my grades with a grain of salt. But I gave you my grades already. And in 2025, we have found ourselves in a rare, almost foreign situation, right? We're happy. Like, no, seriously, Panthers fans who could find something to bitch about. Panthers fans are those fans, and I'll be honest with you. Panthers fans are those fans who will find something to bitch about at a free barbecue. But they actually like this draft. That's been a unicorn event in recent seasons because let's be blunt here, ladies and gentlemen, the franchise has been a hot mess express more often than not. But not this year. Not this year. This felt different. In my opinion, this felt different. Different and good. Okay? Not different, burn it all down, bad. Right? Not burn it all down, bad. Right? You get Tat McMillan in the first round. You get Nick Squarton. You trade up to go get him. You get Princely, Uman, Emilian. I'm probably still pronouncing it wrong. You traded up to get him in the third round. You get Trevor Etienne in the fourth. You get Lathan Ransom. You get Cam Jackson. You get Mitchell Evans and Jimmy Horn Jr. So, Dan Morgan, Dave Canales didn't just grab warm bodies. They went and got their damn guys. That's the kind of convention, in my opinion, is either going to look brilliant in 3 years or have us throwing beer cans at a TV again. But right now, it feels pretty damn good, in my opinion. Right? So we look at these grades, right? We just went through all the analyst grades. Okay? We just went through all the analyst grades. Okay? So what can we actually learn from these grades? Yeah, I definitely didn't call Shedeur Sanders. That's not me. So that was Jeff Ulbridge's son, actually. So do you think the Eagles did good in their draft? Yes, I do. I gave them an A+ because Howie Roseman is probably the best GM in NFL. So what actually did we learn from these gradings, I guess you could say? Most people think the Panthers got better. I think for the first time in a while, the Panthers made picks that weren't instantly roasted by every guy with a Wi-Fi signal and a podcast. Even the haters had to mutter some grudging respect between bites of crow. The Athletic ranked Carolina with the 10th best draft class. And then you got PFF who actually watch film and instead of blindly following big boards across the league, gave them a damn A+. And Danny Kelly loved it too. So here's the thing, the optimism is real. And it's rare as hell that we see this type of optimism and in this type of atmosphere that the Carolina Panthers are in, right? It's very rare. It really is. Okay. The critics are loud, though, too. They're just as loud as the optimistic fan, but not particularly convincing. Like Mel Kiper gave us a C plus, which makes sense because Kiper grades like a guy holding a personal grudge. That's what he does. So, like, if a team doesn't pick his guys, right? If a team doesn't pick his guys, he acts like they kicked his dog. That's what Mel Kiper does. If they don't pick his guys, he acts like a kid that kicked his dog. And then this year, Kiper was salty with Carolina because we took Tet over Jalen Walker. He couldn't stop whining about it, even though McMillan is a huge athletic freak who fills an actual need. It's his meh grades reads more like, to me, a personal offense than like someone who's just like a professional critic. It makes no sense to me. Like, and frankly, that's encouraging because if Kuiper's mad, you're probably on the right track. Like, if Mel Kiper's mad at your draft, you're probably on the right track because we've seen it in recent years. Mel Kiper is not the best at picking for your team or suggesting who they should draft for your team. We've seen it time and time again. Pete Briscoe, for example, from CBS, on the other hand, he slightly had a more grounded beef. He's not sold on the pass rushers, right? You got Squirton, you got Uman a million, and actually, playing up to their talent. And that's a valid point. I get it. Nick Squirton and Uman a million really haven't. Squirton mainly, but he probably would have been a better fit if he stayed at Purdue and stayed at the 255, 260 range, right? But then you got him on a million who did have 10.5 sacks. So I'm not really sure why he didn't see production there, right? But let's be honest, if the Panthers coaching staff can't get juice out of these two physically gifted freaks, the problems are bigger than draft picks anyways. Here's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. Like, if the biggest knock is that they have the raw talent but need to development, then good. Great. That's the entire point of the NFL draft. That's why I tell people this. You got to learn how to dream now and bitch later. Sure, it's early to say that any of these picks will turn into okay, maybe Princely becomes the next Julius Peppers, or maybe he flames out harder than a MySpace comeback. By the way, MySpace was the shit back in the day. If you know, you know. But who the hell knows? It's April. This is the season for delusional optimism. If Carolina's coaches can develop even half of these guys, I said it. We had not you get at 3 or 4 of these guys, you develop them. These guys, and you could get them into becoming legitimate NFL contributors. This class will be a cornerstone for the next 5 years. And if they can't, well, it'll be time for another godforsaken rebuild. And then the toxic X or Twitter and the angry tweets will start all over again. They'll start all over again. What's up, Matt Machado? Appreciate you joining. Zach. What's up, Zach? Appreciate you joining. Rolly, what's good? Did he lose weight this offseason? Yeah, he's supposed to be losing weight. I don't now. Will he lose weight? That's the question. Like Squirton was like at 285, but he plays his best. I think he's down weight, actually. I think he has lost his weight, Rolly. But when he's at his best at 255, 260. Kuiper's mad because Kuiper's just mad because Dan Morgan blew smoke up everybody's. Yeah, absolutely. Dan fooled a lot of people, even me. Yeah. Clay, did you like the Tet pick? Yeah, I did like the Tet pick. I would listen. My Tet wasn't my wide receiver one. I'll be honest with you guys. I'll be honest with you. Tet wasn't my wide receiver one. Now, do I see the potential there? Yes. I see the good and I see the bad, but I also see the potential. I think his ceiling is around a Mike Evans, AJ Green type wide receiver. I see his floor being like a Quentin Johnson. But I think he's got more. I think he can bring more to the table than a Quentin Johnson. There's just because not every prospect is perfect, man. Like each prospect is going to have his flaws. And he has his flaws. But I just felt like we had our 50-50 ball go-getter. We had a red zone threat. That was Xavier Legette and Shadavion Sanders. I felt like Shadavion Sanders could be a red zone threat. We didn't need Tet. I needed someone that could create separation or a tight end that could open up the middle of the field. That was me personally. But I get the Tet McMillan. I get the Tet McMillan pick. Big Black, you're right. Oh, I get it. No, I get it. Our red zone offense has been terrible for sure. I get it. Totally understand. We need to trade for CeeDee Lamb, Kevin. I that's dreaming, buddy. I thought the Patriots had a good draft. I thought the Patriots had an A+ draft, Brad. They're one of my A pluses. I think Carolina had. I agree with I actually agree with PFF. Like if you go look at PFF's top 3 A drafts, it's Carolina, the Patriots, and I think the third one was, I think it was Arizona, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm cool with that too. So I think a lot of teams had some good drafts. I think the Eagles had a hell of a draft too, as always, because Howie Roseman is an absolute dog. What about the Raiders? Yeah, Big Black, our wide receiver room is crazy right now. I'm looking for, unfortunately, since we're not having our own training camp and us fans can't go watch it, I'm looking forward to seeing the updates from there. What about the Raiders? I actually need to go back and look at the Raiders draft. I think they had a pretty good draft, if I'm not mistaken, but I have to go back and look at it. AC Carter should be able to get these boys to ball out. Evero, I'm worried about. Big Black, I was planning on going this year too, man. So we needed another wide receiver for sure. See ya. Bye-bye. Yep. I'm sure they can't just move back to Wofford, but just chose not to. Big Black, I live in South Carolina. I would love for them to come back here. I know a couple of football teams that probably would open up their doors to him. Bryce Young is so good at Stacy. Thank you. Appreciate you showing that. Next year, I'm thinking corner, linebacker, or O-line for sure. My favorite draft pick so far is Jimmy Horn. We finally got that speedster. Yeah. Dude is an old man yelling at the clouds. Easy crepe. I feel you, big dog. Big Black says I'm in SC2. Nice. Nice. He's at 257, but a real Joe is 280 something. He was 285. So now he's down to 257. He needs to maintain that 255, 260 range. That's when he was at his best. That's when we saw all that production out at Purdue before he transferred to A&M. The reason why he had a lack of production is because of the fact that because the scheme didn't fit Scorton. That's literally what happened. I don't know, Big Black. I'm probably going to break down the roster as time goes on. And honestly, I need to see what happens at training camp and these rookie mini camps and all that stuff. And from the wide receiver position, I don't know who we're dropping. I hope it's David Moore. And I hope Renfrow actually ends up working out because Renfrow has shown production, which we're going to talk about him more here shortly. But yeah, I don't know. I think Kobe Hudson's a dog. He's got a quick release, explosive explosive first step. I think a lot of people are sleeping on him out of UCF. We got him as an undrafted free agent. Great separator. Then you got Jimmy Horn Jr. And then you got Renfrow. This wide receiver room is stacked at this point. It's stacked. And then we got the other guy from Miami as well. It's interesting. It's interesting how this wide receiver room is going to play out. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing how this training camp, mini camp, all these offseason workouts, the wide receiver room is definitely going to be probably the one you're going to want to watch. Leggett can't catch, bro. He's a number 2. Jeff R, I disagree. I mean, he is a wide receiver number 2 as of right now. I would agree with that, but I think he can catch. I think it's just a development thing. Everybody's gonna have issues, man. We can't expect Leggett to just come out here and just absolutely ball out and have over 1,000 yards. It comes up with development, man. Like you got to develop. There's every rookie's going to have issues, and Leggett's issues is his hands. They're not reliable. He's just got to get more consistent. How much improvement are you expecting next season? You're asking me a lot right now, but here's the thing. I think right now, and I'll say this right now, just to answer your question in some kind of sort of way, Zach, I think we should feel cocky right now. I think Carolina Panthers fans deserve have a time right now after this draft just to feel a little cocky, talk a little shit after this draft. Yeah, I think the tight end out of Notre Dame is actually going to get playing time quicker than a lot of people think. A lot of people think. Yeah, 280 was at Texas A&M. They made Nick put on weight for their defensive scheme. Yep. And it wasn't a good fit for him. Did they ever find out which over or under 8 wins? User, I see the ceiling for Carolina this year. I see 9 wins. Now, again, I'll have to double check the schedule. This is just a rough estimate. This is not my for sure. I see the ceiling this year, and because I want to be realistic, I'm not going to be one of those guys where we're going to go 12 and 6 or whatever the case may be. I'm not going to say that 12 and 5, whatever. I see the ceiling being 9 wins. I see the floor being 6. I see the floor being 6. I think that's a fair. I think that's a fair assessment. Do y'all think we will sign Blackman? I hope we sign Blackman. As long as the price is right. I think I think as the price is right. I've heard Blackman is really asking over his market value. We got to 5 with no defense last year. Yeah, I'm just being I just don't want to be that guy that's overly optimistic. And I've done it before, and I'm just going to be realistic. If they exceed at least, here's the thing. If I say 9 wins and they exceed 9 wins, okay, great. Okay, great. But I think 9 wins is the ceiling. I think the floor is 6. I think that's not only that's doable, but I think it's realistic. And if they exceed my expectations, then great. But at least if I keep it realistic, I don't get disappointed at the end of the day. What's up, Roadmaster? Appreciate you joining. Joshua, Carolina has a good wide receiver. It's not solid. T Mac 1, XL 2, Thielen 3, Coker 4, Renfro 5, Horn Jr. 6, Moore 7. Can flip flop Coker or Thielen as we go. Again, I think that Moore's out of here. If they keep 7, they're taking Moore out of here. I think Kobe Hudson's getting slept on. I'm telling you right now, the wide receiver out of UCF is getting absolutely slept on right now. If you go watch his tape. If you watch his tape, I'm telling you. Heard a rumor that Rasul Douglas might be in play. Interesting, Kendall. Interesting. There's a great chance either steals snaps at the 5 tech from Clowney, right? There's a great chance either steals snaps. I mean, I could see it, J Mac. I guess it's Wharton that's losing some reps to those guys. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I think that we need to go through training camp and all these off-season workouts to see where we're at. We'll have a better idea as these rookie mini camps happen and we hear more about what we're seeing there. Then once we really get into training camp and see these guys, unfortunately, we won't be able to see them as fans. We'll just have to rely on the media to give us updates. But yeah. Well, right now, I would say Scorton's better than Clowney just because of an age difference. Clowney's 31 years old. They're probably at this rate. I wouldn't be surprised if Clowney, gets traded. I wouldn't be surprised by that. That's an interesting rumor, though, Kendall. That would be a decent corner room to work with. I'm still okay with the corner room right now. I think the only thing that can hold us back from 10 wins would be Evero. I could see that. I mean, here's the thing. Evero hasn't not been developing the talent the best. I think AC Carter could be that guy that does that, though, Roadmaster. I think bringing AC Carter is the guy that we need to be looking at and saying, okay, if we see this defense take a step forward in the right direction, it's definitely because of AC Carter. Now, again, it could be Evero too, because Evero finally has some guys that he can work with. He finally has some guys that he can actually work with. So I could see that as well. Evero really hasn't had the talent on this team as we truly think he has. We really haven't solidified each position as I feel like we think we have. But We'll find out this year. We'll find out this year, especially with these young guys. Yeah, Nick. I mean, Texas A&M did not use Scorton correctly. Purdue had him used him correctly. If you go watch his Purdue film, which is what I've watched, go watch his Purdue film when he was at 255, 260. Way more production. Way more production. When he got to Texas A&M, they bulked him up for his scheme. That's what they did with Nick Scorton. Oh, it's definitely bizarre, J-Mac. Meant solid. Sorry. I knew what you meant. Chad Howe comes in and says Leggett had a 6% drop rate, only 5 actual drops. He just had some untimely ones. Philly game definitely comes to mind. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's like everybody's like, oh, he dropped so many passes. Not really. Not really. Just the ones he did drop, unfortunately, was in big game moments. And the one that also sticks out to me, Chad, is that one really wasn't a drop. It's the one where the corner basically took it away from Leggett. So, yeah. I don't know if Moose is going to make it, man. Moose did not produce much at Texas A&M. Do you think Bryce is gone if they don't get 8 to 9 wins? I think there could be discussions for sure. I do think there's going to be discussions if he does not get to 8 to 9 wins. If we can't win more than 8 to 9 games, there are going to be discussions about Bryce Young. I see it coming. Since we were at 98 players on the roster, I think DJ Moore, or not DJ Moore, I knew you meant David Moore, would be a roster cut. Yeah, I got you. Canales is going to work a magic with his offensive weapons. Evero has to get it right. Exactly. Is Isaiah Bond still available? I'm not sure, Josh Lilly. I'm not sure. I haven't heard that. It depends. I mean, I think a lot of teams right now, the reason why he has to go drafted, it sounds like from what we're hearing from inside sources and people keep saying is that he might not get out of that case. So I don't know. Rumor is Clowney traded was discussed and apparently mauled by Morgan and Company prior to the draft. Like to add Blackman, but only at the right price. Clowney would not yield as much in a trade. No, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, J Mac, because honestly, at this point, it's a win-win situation. Bryce Young works out, great. Bryce Young doesn't work out, guess what? You got a nice quarterback draft class coming up. Lenore Sellers, Arch Manning, Drew Allar. There's a bunch of guys in that draft class. So if they don't win the 8-9 games and Canales doesn't feel like Bryce Young isn't it, they'll move on. I think Bryce Young has to win at least 8 to 9 games this year. I really do. You can't win less than that. You can't win less than that. And I think he will. I do believe that Bryce will win 8 to 9 games. Especially after after what we saw this last 12 weeks of last season. I think we could see that. I think he could take a step forward. I think he can continue to keep moving forward in the right direction. Go look at the last 12 weeks. Production was there. Finished off the season with 5 touchdowns. The production's there. It just needs to be consistent. Possibly could be Chef, because if Evero doesn't get this defense back where it needs to be, yeah, I could see it. Oh, for sure. That should be exciting for anybody with Derek Brown coming back, for sure. Oh, for sure, Roadmaster. I don't think there's any excuses for him this year, for Evero. He's got to use the talent around him. He's got to utilize the talent around him, for sure. We definitely got some depth, for sure. Yep. What's up, Dom34? Appreciate you joining, man. Maxi Sanchez comes in and says, 12-5. Wow. That's a hot one. But at the end of the day, the way I take it, at least I can say this from the Carolina Panthers draft class. Okay, we didn't fuck it up. That's a lesson right then in itself. We actually finally ran a smart, patient, aggressive draft. They identified premium positions, found value, didn't mortgage their future, trying to be the smartest guys in the room. And in short, the Panthers acted like an actual football team again. Like this, we actually seem like we have a competent front office for once. And that's something we haven't had in a very, very long time. And if that isn't a reason for a little optimism, and maybe you should go grab a beer or two. I mean, what I don't know what the hell is, you know? I feel like Carolina should feel a little cocky right now. You had a good draft last year. You had a good draft this year. On paper, it looks good. You wanted Kobe Bryant, YPTDD. I feel you on that one. I was a big Kobe fan. I watched his film from Kansas. Big Kobe fan. Liked him. But I can't be mad at the draft. I thought it was I gave it an A-. PFF gave it an A+. But still, at the end of the day, you know, it's like I said, I take the grades as a grain of salt, everyone. Because again, Bleacher Report botched the shit out of the 2012 draft for the Seattle Seahawks. They gave Seattle Seahawks an F when they drafted Russell Wilson, Cam Chancellor, and Bobby Wagner all in the same draft, just because they picked Bruce Irvin first. And then they said that Pete Carroll was the worst coach and should have stayed in college football. So I'm just saying. Roadmaster says, got my drink. Nice. Anderson, what do you think of our UDFs? I think that we got a lot of good guys in there. I thought Kobe Hudson was a good pickup. The center that we picked up out of Cincinnati, Kendra, was a good pickup. He was projected a 3rd-round pick, and we got him undrafted. So we might even have our future center. Picking up Kobe Hudson was an absolute baller for a wide receiver out of UCF. Talking about a quick first step, can create separation, explosive off the line. He's got a nice toolbox of route movement. I think a lot of people shouldn't sleep on Kobe Hudson. Now, if I eat my words, I eat my words, but you watch his tapes tells it all to me. I'm surprised he went undrafted, to be honest with you. I'm surprised. So, yeah, Jeff R., that kicker, another undrafted free agent that I like. What's his name? Ryan. What is it called? Ryan. He's out of Florida State. Ryan something. Is his name Ryan Fitzgerald? I think it is Ryan Fitzgerald from UC. He's a guy, Jeff. He's a guy that actually can kick the ball 50 yards and beyond. He last year went 5 for 5 from between 50 and 59 yards. So yeah, he's good. He doesn't miss. He didn't miss one field goal last year. And his longest field goal is 59 yards. So he actually has a leg, unlike Eddie Pinheiro. Yep. He can actually kick field goals, ladies and gentlemen. We actually have a field goal kicker. He can even hit 60. He even hit a 60 at the combine. I did see that, Zach. It's amazing seeing how Fitzgerald was in 2022 and how much he's improved. Yeah. All right, let's get into the next topic, man. Let's just dive right into it. Talking about Hunter Renfrow, the Carolina Panthers signing him. Carolina Panthers signed Hunter Renfrow. I think our wide receiver one technically is going to be I think our wide receiver one is going to be Ted. I think our wide receiver 2 is technically Adam Thielen, but it's in the position we're talking about Xavier Legette. Wide receiver 3, then it's Thielen. Now, Coker could end up taking that spot. Let's see what happens with Hunter Renfrow. Maybe they think Hunter Renfrow could be that successor with Thielen. I guarantee you Thielen's going to be working with Renfrow all offseason. Now, Thielen's going to be a great mentor for all these young guys as well. I do think that there's going to be one guy, though. Easy Crepe, he's not trade bait. He can't be trade bait. He hasn't played since the 2023 season. So what are you going to get out of him? Greg B says, nah, Coker's taking over Thielen. Possibly. I don't disagree with that, Greg. We'll see. I don't know if we'll use him as trade bait. Who knows? But I'll say this. Let me just dive in this because here's the thing. You took a swing on this kid, on Hunter Renfrow. And now what you need to do is you need to finish the job. Okay? And I love that we're not screwing around this offseason because we're fresh off the NFL draft. And then decided just to stack up 2 promising rookie wideouts wasn't enough. Got some more wideouts in undrafted free agency. And then on Sunday night, they signed Hunter Renfrow, which is intriguing as it is risky. It's intriguing signing, but it's also risky at the same time. Now, Renfrow, a Myrtle Beach native, like myself, a former Clemson standout, carved out a respectable career in Las Vegas. After being selected, he was a 5th round pick in that 2019 draft. And he racked up over 2,084 yards, 17 touchdowns on 269 catches. Now, his peak came in that 2021 season, as you can see there statistically. He had he played 17 games, over 103 receptions, 1,038 yards, plus 9 touchdowns that season. Back then, he looked like one of the NFL's premier slot receivers. Even Derwin James came out and said that Hunter Renfrow was different. Because at the time, he was a crafty, slippery little bastard who could find space where no one seemed to exist. Now, let's not kid ourselves. 2021 was a damn long time ago for football. Renfrow didn't take a single snap in 2024. He spent the entire offseason unemployed while the league moved on without him. And maybe it was a bad luck. Maybe it was a declining performance. Or maybe it was just the fact that the team that he was on was absolutely a shit show in the Las Vegas Raiders. Or maybe teams just figured they thought he was slow, an undersized slot guy, when you have younger and faster models were coming out of college every year. Either way, Renfrow was stuck on the free agency scrap heap until now. So now he's got this shot of redemption. And it's not a guaranteed resurrection for sure. But no, I mean, don't make a mistake about it. I think you're taking a flyer on him. It's a low risk, medium reward type of swing, in my opinion. I don't think it's a high reward, but here's the thing: we're not out here handing Renfrow the keys to the office. I mean, my goodness, they're just giving him a chance, and I think that's it. Like, he does bring experience, great hands. I think he's underrated quickness to a young wide receiver room. We're desperate for some reliability. Even if he brings a little value as a punt returner, I mean, he fielded 70 punts in his few years with the Raiders. And then given the messy situation with our special teams, that's no small bonus. If you think he's walking to a Bank of America stadium and has the same Pro Bowl version of himself in 2021, you're thinking wrong. Renfrow might be gone for good at that point. You know, I mean, Renfrow has missed some real time. He hasn't played a meaningful. Well, you got to think about it. He hasn't played a meaningful football game in over a year. So he hasn't exactly turned it up the last time he was on the field. 2022, 2023, his production tailed off in Las Vegas. Let's be honest. Like, he had injury issues, systematic misfits. It was just a little plain old regression. All right. It's possible Renfrow can turn back the clock, become a high-end third down weapon again. Maybe. It's also possible that maybe training camp will all be shrugging, saying, well, it was worth a shot. I think it's either way. It barely cost the Panthers anything to find out. And that's a hell of a lot better than sitting on their hands. I'm looking at some of your comments. Y'all are going crazy in the chat. Y'all are going crazy in the chat. Ben, what's up? I appreciate the follow, man. I feel you. Well, now you also got to think about it this way. This is a crowded wide receiver room now. You just drafted Ted McMillan. You drafted Jimmy Horn Jr. Then you went in the undrafted free agency, and you got Kobe Hudson out of UCF. You got another wide receiver. I can't remember his name, out of Miami. And I think they got one more wide receiver as an undrafted free agent, but I can't remember who it was. I have to go through their undrafted free agent list again. Then on top of that, you just signed Hunter Renfrow. I think there's a fairly clear plan though. With Moose Muhammad, thank you. You also got Moose Muhammad's son. That's who it was. I couldn't think of it. But you get Ted McMillan, who's definitely a bona fide highlight reel monster who could easily become Bryce Young's wide receiver 1. You get Jimmy Horn Jr. You get those guys. And who I think really Jimmy Horn Jr. could be Adam Thielen's successor with his speed and the ability that he brings to the table. McMillan will be fine. I think his future is definitely secured. Horn now is going to have to scrap like hell to carve out a spot on the final roster. Because again, don't sleep on Kobe Hudson out of UCF. I'm just telling you, I'm high on him. I'm high on Kobe Hudson. I'm surprised he went undrafted. But I also think because of Renfrow too, like even if we get flashes of 75% of that 2021 Hunter Renfrow, he's absolutely going to steal reps. I'm sorry. That guy in the go watch his 2021 film. Go watch Hunter Renfrow's 2021 film. We get 75% of that. That's nasty. You're talking. This is going to be some cutthroat competition that in that wide receiver, which obviously Dan Morgan clearly wants at every position group. And the truth is exactly that Carolina needs players fighting for jobs like junkyard dogs, man. That's why he wants dogs. Too many guys were too damn comfortable last year. That ends now. I think if anybody's out of here, Jacoby George was the guy out of Miami. Thank you, T. Thompson. Roadmaster says, we running up your algorithm, Clay. As you should. As you should. Run that algorithm up. Run that motherfucker like a damn hamster on the wheel. Right? I mean, here's another thing too. Think about it this way. I'll say this. I think the Renfrow signing is a good move. I think it's a calculated risk. I don't think the Carolina Panthers are finished, frankly. I think the next move should be a no-brainer. They need a veteran safety. I think you already got Mulrig. You re-signed Nick Scott, who's ass. He's booty cheeks. I'm sorry. Nick Scott is booty cheeks. I don't even know why we re-signed him. I'm not a fan of Nick Scott. You drafted Lathan Ransom to shore up the back end. Damani Richardson is an undrafted free agent who definitely showed some intriguing potential for sure. But that group still needs one proven guy who can actually start day one without turning into burnt toast against NFC South quarterbacks. The guy that we should be getting is Julian Blackmon. Now, I know that he visited earlier this offseason, but no deal was materialized. I think because Blackmon wants too much money. He's going above his value, what he's asking for. I think I want him, but I think the price needs to be right. Like Morgan needs to pick up the damn phone and fix that now. I think Blackman's fresh off a solid 2024 campaign with the Colts. He brings excellent coverage, skills, versatility to play the slot. He can play deep safety. He's got enough starting experience immediately to stabilize our secondary. But guess what? The problem is Carolina has about $16.3 million in cap space, ladies and gentlemen. It's just gathering dust. They can afford Blackmon. And I think the thing is with Blackmon is you sign him. You would do more than just plug a hole. You would solidify a unit desperately that needs stability heading into a critical year for Bryce Young's development. Blackman's only 26, meaning this wouldn't just be a short-term rental or anything like that. He would end up being a foundational piece, in my opinion, for years to come. Morgan has been aggressive so far, but I think right now you can't half-ass. This is the time now that you want to continue to keep being aggressive. Don't stop. Don't slow down. Not War 17, Brian McLean comes in and says, the bottom line is this. I think Hunter Renfrow is a fun, nonchalant signing. I meant nostalgic. Sorry, trying to use big words with my small brain. A nostalgic signing for the Panthers fans who remember his time in Clemson and all that. He's a smart gamble in the wide receiver room that needs vet and grit. But no one should expect miracles. I'll say that. If Renfrow becomes a steady third down option, punt return ace, it's a massive win. If he flames out in training camp, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. You didn't lose anything. The biggest picture I take from all of this too is this. Is that Morgan and the Panthers are taking swings, they're rolling the dice, and dragging this team out of the pit of mediocrity by sheer force of will. And it's about damn time. Now you just got to finish the job, go get a safety who can actually keep opposing offenses awake at night. That's what exactly I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying, Jeff. That's what I'm saying. Dot 34, I don't even know if he could do that correctly. Cut Clowney, use the money to get Blackman. Zach, who's your favorite? How many preseason games y'all think the NFL should play? Don't trust Mike Jackson. What do you think? I think he's serviceable. I'll say that. I think he's serviceable. Now, could he end up like changing my mind this year? Possibly. We'll just have to see. How many preseason games y'all think we should have? I don't know. Me personally, I think preseason is good, but I think what would be better is no preseason games and just and like literally just a bunch of scrimmages. I think scrimmages would be better. I've heard NFL players say scrimmages. Actually, they feel like they feel like they get more out of the scrimmages. That's what I've heard. They say they get more out of it. So I don't know. Guys, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Make sure you pound that like button wherever you may be on the YouTube channel. Make sure you pound that like button, hit the subscribe button, become a member today. It's less than a cup of coffee. All right. Appreciate everyone on the TikTok, by the way. I would appreciate it if you just keep pounding my face. You know, keep pounding my face. That'd be great. Renee asked me prediction who makes the wide receiver room. As of right now, I can't confirm nor deny because there's so much talent, and I'm gonna have to probably, for me personally, to predict that. I'm gonna have to wait to see how these off the field, off season workouts go, training camp, and all that good stuff. But definitely, we'll be keeping an eye on it for sure. I feel the same way, Danny. I'm taking Clowney, Rock Hill, and he paying. That's funny. I want Moose to make it so bad. I want him to wear 87. I think a lot of Panthers fans want Moose to make it. I think a lot of Panthers fans. I just don't know. The production at Texas A&M doesn't look good for him, to be honest. The Panthers have claimed let's see here. Hold on. Oh, okay, there we go. Emmy Lou says Cam Jackson is huge. He's going to be good. Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to be a 2-down defensive lineman who's going to clog lanes, ease up double teams, and stop the run. That's what he's going to be. The Panthers have claimed cornerback MJ Dovenshire off waivers from the Raiders per NFL Traction Wire. Let's go look at who Zach just posted up. Dovenshire. I haven't even heard this game before. This cat before. To be honest with you, gonna have to pull up his PFF real quick. Let's see if we can pull up Dovenshire real quick. How many likes are we at over here, YouTube? We're at 34 likes. Let's get those likes up, man. There's over 48 people watching over here on the YouTube channel. Let's get those likes up. I would greatly appreciate it. That's all I ask. Renee, I appreciate you liking the live stream. Thank you. Keep pounding your face. Hey, yo, pause. Well, it's TikTok, man. They have to tap the screen, so that's why I say it. So, but yeah, it's one of those things. Do you think he's going to be a kick returner or punt returner? I mean, he possibly could. He possibly could. I think the sky's the limit with any of these guys, really. We'll just see who are the ones that actually show out. And we'll see more, and we'll dive into it more as time goes on. Who's your favorite current player, and then all-time player? Favorite current player right now for me would probably be actually it's a guy that we just signed. Trayvon Moehrig is he's one of my favorite players right now. And then favorite player of all time, Cam Newton. Cam will always be my favorite player of all time from a Panther standpoint. Always. And then my second will definitely be Luke. Third would probably be Julius Peppers. And then my fourth would probably be Greg. From a favorite standpoint. Oh, shit. T. Thompson and Roadmaster going at it. Here we go. It's a showdown. Jay NYC Queen says, Pittsburgh Steelers fan here. What's up, man? Appreciate you joining. I ain't got nothing against the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Wish them nothing but the best this year. Love Mike Tomlin as a coach. He's one of my favorite coaches in the league as of right now. I think he's probably the best coach in the NFL. That might be a hot take, but just me personally. Wow, we reached 1,000K likes over here. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's see what else. We got any other questions? Any other concerns? I'm seeing what's going on. Tomorrow, we're going to talk more. All right, so tomorrow, I'm going to brief you guys into this. So tomorrow, we got the NFC South Roundtable on Roundtable Sports or on the NFC South Roundtable on YouTube. We'll be there live. I'll be there live tomorrow. We're going to be breaking down, of course, we've got the Buccaneers draft. We got our draft. We got the Saints draft, so we're all going to be breaking it down. We're all going to be breaking it down on the NFC South Roundtable, so make sure you guys tune into that. If you don't know where to go, I'm about to show you right now.
Roundtable Sports Network brings you NFL divisional debate coverage on a weekly basis from your favorite content creators across YouTube, featuring the AFC East Roundtable live Monday and Wednesday evenings, the AFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST, the NFC South Roundtable live Tuesdays at 7 p.m. EST, the NFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The AFC West Roundtable live Tuesdays at 9 p.m. EST. The NFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The AFC North Roundtable live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. EST. The NFC East Roundtable live Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. Roundtable Sports. Real coverage from real fans.
Y'all relax over there talking about Roadmaster. Roadmaster, chill. Oh, that's with Dan Mitchell and Richie. Yep, that is with them. Melatonin. Renee, yes, I'm a Bryce believer as of really. I've been on and off with Bryce. 1 minute I'm a believer, but this year I am a believer. I'm a believer. I'm not doubting him right now. When is the roundtable? It starts at 7 p.m. EST. Okay. Starts at 7 p.m. EST. And on the NFC South Roundtable, part of Roundtable Sports. So come on over there. We're going to be breaking down the Bucs draft, the Saints draft tomorrow. Zach, it's happening tomorrow. We'll be breaking down the Panthers draft, and then of course the Saints, Bucs, and the Falcons. The NFC South Roundtable. I can pull it up. I can send you this stuff. I can send you this stuff real quick. By the way, that MJ Dovershire is really, there ain't much to him. I'll be honest with you guys. Let's go. The Saints are going to be funny. Yeah, I have a feeling. I have a feeling that TJ tomorrow, part of the NFC South Roundtable, is going to go off tomorrow. I think he's going to have a lot to say. That's for sure. That is for sure. Renee, I'm firmly a believer for a little bit. It was hard to defend him, but ready to see him work with T-Mac. Absolutely. It's going to be interesting. Apparently they've been working together this, in Cali and all off season. So it's interesting. So guys, here's the link for the NFC South Roundtable right here. Starts at 7 p.m. EST right here on this YouTube channel, on that YouTube channel link I just sent you. So So, well, guys, I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to hop off for the night. I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. Again, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button over here on the YouTube channel. If you're over here on TikTok, make sure you just, tap, tap, tap. And then, of course, drop me a follow. You can go check out my latest videos. I broke down the draft grades of the Carolina Panthers, but I also gave you my insight on each and every guy we drafted. So there's plenty of videos on the channel right now. So again, I appreciate everyone joining the live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow. And as always, guys, y'all know what to do. I'm out of here. Keep pounding, okay? Peace.